Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to share everything I know about Neverness to Everness, abbreviated as NTE, the gacha game that the community has been waiting for a very long time. I won't ramble, I'll go straight into what actually matters. Server launch time, system requirements, gacha system, combat, how to earn money in the game, and the first 24-hour progression route. This video is a bit long because I want you to finish watching and be able to step into Hethereau without feeling confused at all. First, let's talk about the release time. NTE officially launches globally tomorrow, April 29th, 2026, with multi-platform support including PC, Windows, PlayStation 5, iOS, Android, and macOS. The game has already allowed pre-download since April 27th, so I recommend you download it now to avoid sitting there watching the loading bar on launch day while others are already in the game. Also, one more note, the China server opened earlier on April 23rd, which means I already have a decent amount of real data from that community to analyze for you today. Next is system requirements. NTE uses Unreal Engine 5 with two core technologies, Lumen, a dynamic global illumination system, and Nanite, extremely high detail geometry. This is why the game looks so good, but also why the hardware requirements are not something you can ignore. The minimum requirement on PC is an Intel Core i7-10700 CPU, 16GB RAM, and at least an NVIDIA GTX 1660 or AMD RX 5600 GPU. But if you want a truly smooth experience, the recommended specs are i7-12700, 32GB RAM, and a graphics card starting from RTX 3060 or RX 6700 and above. One extremely important point emphasized by the developers is that you must install the game on an SSD, not HDD, because using an HDD will cause stuttering when loading the city map, constant texture issues, and a very poor experience. You'll need 60 gigabytes of SSD storage, plus another temporary 60 gigabytes for decompression during installation. For mobile devices, you need at least 6 to 8 gigabytes RAM and a Snapdragon 855 chip or higher. For iPhone users, note that non-Pro models like the standard iPhone 12 or 13 may struggle to maintain stable FPS at medium graphic settings. Now we get to the part I think many of you are most excited about, the gacha system. And I can say this directly. This is one of the most transparent and player-friendly gacha systems I've ever seen in this genre. First is the summoning system called Scarborough Fair, designed like a Monopoly board. When you pull, your character rolls dice and moves across reward tiles. Every pull has value because even if you don't get an S-rank character, you still receive resources like warp pieces or lost pieces, upgrade materials. The S-rank rate is 1.88%, significantly higher than the market average of around 0.6 to 0.8%. Soft pity starts at pull 70, where the board changes and the chance of landing on an S-rank tile increases to nearly 20%. Hard pity is fixed at pull 90. But the most groundbreaking feature, the thing that sets NTE apart from almost all competitors, is the complete removal of the 50-50 mechanic, similar to the system seen in Mongjul's Star Dive, released this April. When you hit an S-rank character on a limited banner, it is guaranteed 100% to be the featured character. No chance of getting a standard or unwanted unit. This allows you to plan your resources extremely precisely without relying on luck. For the arc weapon system, you use tri-keys to summon, with a pity of 60 pulls and a 25% chance to get the signature weapon immediately. If you fail, you are guaranteed within the next 20 pulls, meaning a maximum of 80 pulls for the full character and weapon combo. As for in-game currency, NTE has a fairly complex network and you need to understand each type to avoid wasting resources. Annulith is a farmable premium currency used to exchange for solid dice to perform summons. Rift Crystal can only be purchased with real money, mainly used to buy skins or convert into Annulith at a 1:1 ratio. Solid dice is used for limited banners, while fabricated dice is used for standard banners and can be earned naturally through story progression. The golden rule I want you to remember, always use Annulith to exchange for solid dice, not fabricated dice, because you can get plenty of fabricated dice for free just by exploring the city. In addition, there's Fons, the city currency, used for city tycoon activities like buying cars, real estate, and cooking materials. And Beetle Coin, which is used for combat upgrades and earned from daily dungeons. Now we move to the part I really love analyzing, the Esper cycle combat system. This is not just mindless hacking and slashing, this is a real logic puzzle. The game has 6 elements arranged in a circle: Cosmos, Anima, Incantation, Chaos, Psyche, and Lakshana. Reactions only occur between 2 adjacent elements on this circle. I want to emphasize this point because many new players try to build a rainbow team of all 6 elements just to look cool, but in reality, that wastes the entire Esper meter. The system works like this. When the on-field character attacks or performs a parry, the Esper meter is charged. When a standby character's portrait lights up, you swap them in to trigger a support attack and attack the corresponding reaction. There are 6 main dual reactions you need to know. Blossom from Cosmos plus Anima summons auto turrets that attack enemies, very good for clearing large groups of mobs. Hexed from Anima plus Incantation deals additional unison damage equal to 20% of the total damage the enemy has taken in the last 12 seconds. This is the strongest single target reaction. Scorch from Incantation plus Chaos applies a 15-second burn dot, great for high HP bosses. Nova from Chaos plus Psyche marks the target and explodes after 5 seconds. You need precise timing. Stain from Psyche plus Lakshana makes enemies take 50% more damage from these 2 elements for 12 seconds. Pure damage amplification and resistance reduction. And Remora from Lakshana plus Cosmos slows enemies for 5 seconds. Extremely important for controlling the pace of the fight and avoiding dangerous attacks. But the peak of the system is the trio reaction, a 3-element reaction. When you swap through 3 characters in the same trio group within a short time, the trio reaction activates. The bottom trio includes Incantation, Chaos, and Psyche. With the reaction Discord, this is a true boss killer. When an enemy is affected by both Scorch and Nova at the same time, Discord will trigger and completely break the boss's white stagger bar, knocking them down and making them take massive damage. The top trio includes Lakshana, Cosmos, and Anima. With the reaction Charge, when Blossom turrets attack enemies slowed by Remora, the entire team gains a large amount of ultimate energy, allowing continuous ultimate chains. Next, I'll quickly go over the tier list for version 1.0 based on CBT3 and data from the China server. In S Plus tier, there are 4 names. Sakiri is the strongest support at launch, with Devour Whole pulling all mobs into 1 point and a passive that increases the team's attack by 30%. Nannily is the highest raw damage DPS in the starting roster, with the underboss mechanic allowing her to perform coordinated attacks even when off-field, and she can run on walls, which makes city exploration extremely fun. Chiz is interesting because she is completely free, obtained through City Tycoon, with damage that scales based on the amount of Fons you have and requires precise rhythm-based timing to maximize output. Juyeon is a rare combination of long-range crowd control and healing, essential in Blossom teams. In S tier, there is Daffodil, a stagger bar breaking specialist. Adler provides near-permanent shields and is very good for players who are not yet comfortable with parry. And Baikang, an execution-type assassin who finishes enemies below a certain HP threshold, and in the hands of a skilled player, his damage rivals limited characters. About rerolling, even though the game gives more than 470 pulls if you complete all milestones, a God roll account still has a big advantage. The reroll process takes about 15 to 18 minutes if done correctly. On PC, use salted emails like yourname+1@gmail.com, and on mobile, use guest accounts. Skip all skippable cutscenes. Only about 90 seconds of the opening and a 1-minute boss intro are mandatory. Focus on precise parries to finish tutorial fights quickly, because each defeat costs an extra 30 to 120 seconds. The Scarborough Fair summoning system unlocks at Hunter level 5 when you reach the Ibon Antique Shop. Once you have resources, the first priority is the discounted 50 pulls on the beginner banner, which only costs 40 fabricated dice to get the S-rank selector box. The second priority is to invest solid dice and Annulith into the Nannally banner. The third important priority is do not open the selector box immediately. Wait to see which character you get from standard banner pity. Then use the box to pick the missing one to activate trio reaction, usually Sakiri if you lack a support, or Daffodil if you lack a breaker. Now let's talk about City Tycoon, one of the features that genuinely surprised me when experiencing NTE. This is not just a throwaway minigame, it's a deep economic management system. The Cafe Origin chain unlocks at Tycoon level 4 and is the most stable source of passive income. Each character has their own life skill. For example, Nanally increases customer flow, while Adler reduces material consumption. Assigning the right characters to the right roles can boost profit efficiency by 20 to 30%. Investing in furniture and decoration is not just for looks, it directly increases how much customers spend. In the early phase, you should restock every 4 hours to optimize management EXP, and at level 40, you unlock auto restock. Tycoon level 6 unlocks Hunter Exchange. This is the most important feature on day 1 because it allows you to use Fons to exchange for Gacha tickets and rare upgrade materials with a monthly reset. Tycoon level 11 unlocks Pink Paws Heist, a weekly activity with rewards up to 1 million Fons. In addition, there are taxi and delivery services where each unit of city stamina spent equals about 1,000 Fons in income. For the equipment system, arcs are weapons categorized by physical states such as bows, liquid, solid, and plasma, and each character can only equip the type that matches their Esper. For free-to-play players, Umbrella is a solid defensive option for supports, while Shiny Days helps improve shield breaking efficiency. The module console is designed like Tetris. You fit module blocks into a limited grid for each character, and matching colors or special shapes activates set bonuses like crit rate, elemental damage, or cooldown reduction. And here is the 24-hour progression route I recommend. From hour 1 to 3, focus on completing chapter 1 of the story to unlock Tycoon, then reach Tycoon level 4 to start the cafe and passively accumulate management EXP. From hour 4 to 6, focus on increasing appraisal level because it determines world difficulty and reward quality, and spend at least half of your pixel stamina on module dungeons so it starts regenerating automatically. From hour 7 to 10, push to Tycoon level 6 to unlock Hunter Exchange and buy out all limited April items before the reset. From hour 11 to 24, hunt world bosses, especially the Headless Biker, who can drop S-rank weapon blueprints and purple modules even at low levels if you know how to trigger Discord to break shields. Finally, don't forget to redeem the 3 confirmed launch gift codes, NTENOWTOENJOY, NTENANALLYGO, and NTE0429 to receive an extra 300 Annulith along with various upgrade materials. If you encounter a black screen issue, update your NVIDIA drivers to the latest version or use the one-click repair feature on the launcher. If your download gets stuck, try running the launcher as administrator and check whether your VPN or proxy is blocking connection ports. All right, that's everything I wanted to share before NTE launches. I genuinely think this is one of the most worth-playing gacha games recently, not only because of the impressive Unreal Engine 5 graphics, but also because of its transparent gacha system, deep combat mechanics, and the City Tycoon feature that creates a very diverse gameplay loop. If this video helped you, leave a like to support me, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos once I jump into the game for real. See you in the city of Hethereau.